Hello and welcome to Sport for Business. We have a very special interview to do today. It's about the arrival onto the sponsorship scene of a property which is known by almost everybody, but which has never had a commercial partner in the past. A very warm welcome to Sarah O'Hulavon from Goal, and you're going to tell us a little bit about the Goal Mile. First off, you're very welcome. Secondly, what is the Goal Mile story over the last 37 years?
Thanks very much, Rob. Well, yes, this is the 38th year of the Goal Mile. It's quite an incredible event that has been at the very heart of communities all over the country for now 38 years. It's amazing. I think for a lot of people, it's as important as turkey to their Christmas traditions. It's very much part of the Christmas experience. But it's absolutely a grassroots, community-led event. So this is organised by people who are passionate about supporting Goal's humanitarian work all over the world. And many of them have been doing it for decades. It's very important to them and their families and the communities, and we're really proud of it. It's a very special event. And this year, we're really excited to bring it to a whole new level. This is, as I say, grassroots community-led, but with the organisers, we realise that there's loads of potential here to grow it to an even bigger event. And I think that the potential is huge for a commercial sponsorship to come on board this year. And we're really excited. We've put a lot of work over the last couple of years to ensure that it's a really professional, slick, well-run event. And I think with the right partner on board this year, it's going to be even bigger and better than ever.
Just a couple of basics. How many people take part in it each year?
Well, we estimate up to about 50,000 people. So because it's community-based, there are up to 160, 170 events depending on the year, who are organising in their local, it could be a park, it could be their local GAA or cricket grounds. So loads of different kinds of venues, loads of shapes and sizes of the event, but very large community involvement. So yeah, up to 50,000 across about 170 venues.
That whole theme of community and grassroots is one of the recurring themes that has just grown in importance, grown in influence within the sponsorship sector over the last number of years. You definitely can deliver on that. There are challenges, of course. It's on Christmas Day, which is not normally a time when people are thinking of sponsored opportunities. But have you looked at sponsorship in the past and said no because it wasn't quite ready, or is there any particular reason why now in 2020 the time is right to bring on board a partner?
Yeah, I think it's that we're ready. I think we've been growing year on year in size. I think the community support, the community engagement with the event has solidly been growing year on year. But at head office level, we've developed a little bit more over the recent years to add that professional element of the event planning and management. So I think the combination of those two, we've grown the brand, and the volume of people involved has been growing year on year, but now we have the structures in place to bring it up a level.
So 37 years in the making, and without any clutter to actually get through, which again is relatively unusual, almost unique in the sponsorship marketplace. The sort of the key elements that would make it of greatest appeal to a commercial partner. If I had to nail you down to a 1, 2, 3 of the reasons why people should get involved, what would they be?
Yeah, well, the first I would say, while you're describing it as something maybe a little bit differently, the noise at Christmas, I think the chance to be heard as a really authentic voice above all that noise at Christmas time. It's such a challenging time, but also a very important time for brands to be heard. So to have that, something a bit different, that community element, the authenticity, something very established, will stand out from the crowd. It will be heard above the jingles. So I think there's actually a great asset there. Also, the communication plan for the event is really 2 months leading up to Christmas. So again, really key, important time to be heard by brands, key shopping season. So for that entire campaign, a sponsor would be part of that, of course, and I think it's a great opportunity. So I think being heard above the noise, above the jingles, will certainly stand out as something very different for this event. Secondly, our ambassadors are second to none. Again, Goal is around a long time, over 40 years, and this event is around nearly 40 years. So over that time, we've got such loyalty and support from really great sporting names, some legends like Eamon Coughlin and Sonia O'Sullivan, who've been supporting the mile for decades, literally at this stage. And then this year, we've some really inspiring younger people getting involved, like Ciara McGeehan herself, who's organising an event. She's that passionate about supporting Goal that she's decided not just to put her face and her name against it, but actually to run an event. Roisin Upton, Jenny Murphy. We've so many ambassadors who support Goal generally as well. Jamie Heaslip, Jack McCaffrey, Alan Brogan. There's such a list there that I think that makes us really stand out as something a bit different. And then lastly, I think with the Goal Mile, there are so many attractive elements to it that are already there. You don't need to build them. Heritage, real community involvement, and being active, wellness, that sense of getting out and being healthy at Christmas time is something a bit different when we're indulging and being maybe a little bit lazy compared to the rest of the year. So just get out and have fresh air with the community and wellness, I think, is really encapsulated in the Goal Mile. And as you say, this has no baggage of any other brands associated with it. At the moment, this is the Goal Mile. It is ripe for the picking for the right partner.
One of the key things that any company is looking at as well is in terms of the well-being of their own staff. And oftentimes the bigger companies actually look internally for the benefits of something like this. I know I'm familiar from the ambassadors traveling out to Africa and to areas where you're actually working on the ground. Is that something that by coming on board as a partner that you could become a part of as well? So a partner with the Goal Mile is not just the 2 months of communication. It's not just the one Christmas morning. It's actually 12 months. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, travel is almost non-existent at the moment. So in terms of that kind of on-the-ground experience of what Goal does, it's a little more challenging these days. But really, we have an incredible communication network with our projects. So for a partner that comes on board, we understand partnership better than anyone. It is core to everything that we do, not as fundraisers, but as Goal humanitarians. Partnership is extremely important and central to everything that we do. So we understand what that means, how we will work together. So for a partner, we can help them and all of their staff to truly understand the impact that they would be having on incredible life-saving and transformative work across the world. Remember that just as we're using Zoom now, we do that with all of our programs around the world. So where we might not have the same opportunities to send our partners out to the field to get that hands-on experience, we certainly are looking forward to expanding our use of technology to bring that, to bring our partners closer to our programs, to help them to understand the impact that they're having. We're starting to do that more and more, and it's showing great results because people really understand when they hear that first-hand story from a courageous humanitarian doing something that it's very hard for us to understand from our desks in Dublin. So yeah, I think for a partner who gets on board with Goal, it's not just for Christmas, for sure. We can help you to really bring that impact throughout your stakeholders and your staff.
It kind of sounds incredibly attractive. Sporting sponsorship tends to focus on assets and digital and stuff that will allow you to actually get the brand out, all of which is really important. But there's something a little bit magical in actually doing it with purpose as well. And I think that that's a real key winner that could really sort of, attract in some big names into this. You mentioned yourself the challenges of travel, and obviously we're in 2020 in a world of COVID that we couldn't have imagined. There must be some issues around gathering of, 50,000 people around 170 different places. Is this a partnership that you think is for 2021, or is it something that you want to actually introduce this year? And if so, what are the different scenarios that are being planned for about how the event is going to look?
Yeah, so I'll take the second part of that question first, just to talk about how excited we are about our virtual Gold Mile. So we absolutely hope and pray that we will be able to proceed with really exciting community engagement in real life. But I think we've all learned to experience things differently virtually this year. Even my parents, I know, are doing things online that they never would have before. So the idea of the virtual Gold Mile will be to continue those connections. That community connection is going to be just as important whether we're physically together or we're virtually together. So whether we're all getting together to do a Gold Mile or doing our own Gold Miles and sharing those stories online, it's still about community and togetherness, and we have the technology to do that now. And I think we're really lucky in that we've had a lot of lead-in time to this. Some earlier events in the year were caught a little bit off guard and had to do a very quick transition to something online. We're not in that position. We have months of preparation to get a really slick online experience. So whether the restrictions curtail us or not, we'll be doing a bit of both. There will be people getting off their couch at Christmas to walk a mile or run a mile or push the buggy down a mile, whether they're able to do that with everybody together or just communicate online what they're doing. So I'm really excited about that. But also, I guess, part of that learning and the growth of this event is the year-on-year build. So we're excited about this year. It's ready to go. We have our sort of parallel platforms of the real life and virtual event ready to go, and a partner will experience that excitement, the tradition, and how important the Gold Mile is this year. But it's also about trust building and the relationship for a couple of years to come. So what we're really excited about is the 40th anniversary in 2 years' time. So we consider a partnership for sure will work as a minimum of 3-year partnership, trust building this year so that we can understand each other better to grow and expand the event as a collaboration in the next 2 years. So in year 3, we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of this incredible event that is so much part of people's Christmas traditions. So I think it'd be a very lucky partner who gets on year 1 of this partnership to be there for the anniversary celebrations in 2022.
I fancy the idea of taking part in Ciara McGeehan's Gold Mile run up in Portaferry. Not in person, I don't think, at the moment, not on Christmas Day, but if it comes to it virtually, I want to be the first one on the virtual start line for that. I only wish that Sport for Business had a couple of zeros on the end of its turnover, because I'd love to be involved with this. This just looks like a real winning sponsorship partnership. I think so. Looking at our membership and at others who might be looking at this, what's the best way for them to actually get in touch with you if they look at it through the same lens as I am, as being a real winning partnership opportunity?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd say don't hesitate to get in touch. It's really important about us finding the right partner and working together. So if you're thinking about a conversation, start the conversation and we can work it out together and find the right fit. So that's really important. And absolutely, I want you to drop me an email, but my email address is sosulivan@goal.ie, which is a tricky one to get right when you're typing it. So also you can get me at fundraising@goal.ie. So please don't hesitate. And Rob, I'm sure you'll put us in touch with anybody who reaches out to you.
Certainly will, and we'll put up your email address on the end state of this video as well. You've been a great ambassador for it. It is exciting to be part of bringing it out into the commercial world, and I hope and really do genuinely believe that there will be a partner to be found for the Gold Mile in 2020, 2021, and indeed for the 40th anniversary in 2022. Sarah O'Sullivan, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thanks for having me, Rob. Take care.